Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of This Is Your Captain Speaking. I have somebody on today that is a very interesting candidate for today. It's somebody that I've worked for a number of years. And actually, I don't know if you know this, Ohad, but you actually started my career in tech. I don't know. We can get to that a little bit later, but it's a bit of an interesting background to that. So today I have Ohad Hecht, who is the founder and CEO of Prodport. Ohad's career spans back a number of years to back when he probably had a full head of hair as well. Ohad, I'm sorry to bring that up, but Ohad was most recently the CEO of Amarsis. After Amarsis was then acquired by SAP, Ohad decided to go and set up Prodport. So Ohad, super excited to have you on today. Great to have you, mate.
Great to be here, and thanks so much for hosting us. I love speaking with you. You know, it's been a long time. We worked together. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So look, Ohad, give me a little bit of a background on Prodport and what you guys are doing and what solutions you're providing to the market now.
So when you think about e-commerce and acquiring customers, the name of the game is personalization. And the name of the game is personalization because you don't have the ability to spend infinite money on acquiring customers. Like, we all wish we'll have billions to just go and throw on acquiring customers. But the reality that every company is walking in today is like, you have X amount of money to spend on acquiring. Acquisition of customers and growth is somewhat challenging, right? So if you're a small company, you're going and you're spending a lot of money on ads, which then became much more complex post iOS 14, because then tracking it and making sure that it's working and privacy changed completely. So it became inefficient and also then expensive. So if you want to acquire customers, you need to personalize, right? You're doing it on acquisition channel, you're doing it with existing customers, whether it's the email or whether it's SMSs or pop-ups or push, whatever that is your first party data strategy. But if you want to make sure that the money that you are spending on the acquisition and retention is actually efficient, right? At a certain point, you need to look at efficiency rather than just deploying the cash. You need to personalize and you need to optimize. And if you look at the history of MarTech and AdTech, I mean, personalization solution been there for a while. Like, it's a long-term pursuit of personalization. There is never end to the levels you can get to, and it's a question of time and technology. Okay, but when you think about what you are, or the conversation you're having, the interaction you're having with your customers in all the channels, whether it's acquisition or retention, it's all pushing into down the funnel to one place, right, where the magic is happening. And the magic is happening on the product page. Because when you think about it, every company, every e-commerce is built around products. I never met one entrepreneur that said, hey, I want to open an online store. It's a fantastic business. That's not the case. The case is like, wow, I have a great product and there's a gap and I love what I do. And I want to make sure that I'm putting my product in as many hands as possible, right? So all the personalization, all the efforts and all this money goes down to this one moment in time where your customer is going to either click add to cart to buy, going to bounce. Okay, and when you think about this, this is obvious. Everything I'm set up until now, it's kind of obvious. But when you think about it, all the interaction disappearing, right? Your product page is one size fits all. So if you convince me, and it takes a lot of money, a lot of efforts to convince customers to go down and click right in all the channels, and then everything disappears. There is a major gap, and this gap is taking a big effect on conversion. Like, good companies will have today good 3% conversion rates, right, from all traffic come to the website, and it's good, right? So even if you improve it by 5%, 10%, your conversion rate, there is a lot of money, a lot of effectiveness, customer loyalty, and retention of customers over time. And that's what we do. That's what we fix. We enable companies to adapt the product information that they have in real time, but in the same page, in the same theme, irrespective to the e-commerce platform and irrespective to where you're hosting the page, right? And I'll stop over here because you asked me a question, I'm getting all excited.
Oh, you're fine. That's your job nowadays, Ohad. You're supposed to get excited about your product. It's obviously it's coming through, man.
When you think about any e-commerce platform, right? And it's Shopify, it's Magento, and it's Hybris and Demandware and WooCommerce and BigCommerce, everyone, right? You have a single product page that represent a single product ID or a single SKU, if you'd like, right? Unlike a homepage or unlike category page or landing pages, you cannot replicate them. You cannot change them. Otherwise, you'll screw up SEO. You'll screw up recommendation. It does not work. So technology is really limiting your ability. And we'll talk about the abilities of the e-commerce, which have different needs to the needs of the marketers. But it's limiting your ability actually to give the customers what they want. You convince me, give me what they want, right? I'll buy from you. And that's what we're fixing.
So you guys, so let's say Prodport is the solution for conversion rate optimization on those product pages. If I was to put it very simply, it helps increase conversion. Is that correct?
Yeah, conversion, revenue, that's our play. That's right.
Excellent. Okay. I see one of your core messages is accelerating hello to goodbye. So goodbye being BUY. I like to play on words. So so tell us some of the success stories that some of your customers have seen then. So we've been talking about increasing conversion rates. So increasing a conversion rate, a 3% conversion rate by 5%, for example. But like, what are some of the success stories that you guys have seen already?
So when you're looking at the customer problems, like, and I put myself in the shoe of a marketer because I also have a website, okay? And it's true to every marketer, and it's true to my role right now, and it was true to my previous role at the master and before, right? We all are allergic to the time that we're going to spend on implementing to the results. We don't want to invest tons of time. We want immediate results, and it's true to any marketer and any seller online. So everything we do need to be snappy and fast. So that's one problem we need to solve, okay? The second problem that we need to solve is everything that we are doing has to be super tangible, okay? ROI in the world of marketing is very intangible, if you like, right? Yeah. And it's very hard to measure personalization. So can I really show an upside? Is it really quick, right? And the third problem that we have, and it's true again to everybody that sells online, is the content. And content is a problem because it's limiting our ability to create more content down to specific segments, specific personas. It's a question of time and capital again. So to your question, across those three pillars, one in terms of time and success of times, if you look at the 4S case study that will be launched this week, 20 minutes to produce 3 different versions.
Amazing.
That's it. From setup to going live. Okay, so everything needs to be snappy and need to be real time, and not by pure messaging, but whether your customer dedicating the time, immediate results. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar, which is most important, because hey, we'll put more time and we'll put more efforts and we'll put more money if the results are there. So it has to be tangible. We're measuring 2 things. We're measuring conversion rate, which is your leading indicator, right? And what is the upside? So take a control group, and if that's the base product page that you have, or the version itself, the aggregation of all the additional versions you created, what's the upside against your base version? So what is the net new that I'm improving that you didn't have before? And we are seeing minimum 25%, and in one of the case studies, we're seeing 61%, right? So 25%, and another case study will come next week, hopefully. It's 30% out of just testing of different versions to anonymous traffic. The 61% is someone that is like really lean into that and develop a great content strategy and really thought through about the incoming traffic and how he's mapping the specific messaging. That was 61%. And when you're looking at revenue, and of course I cannot share revenue numbers, but everyone is looking into ROI from Matic, right? And the question for you, what is for a good company, a good solution, what is a good ROI that you would expect as a CMO for a marketing platform, whether it's Attic or Matic?
So if we're talking about B2C, or we're talking about e-commerce purely, or are you talking about B2B marketing platforms?
Let's do both.
Okay, so I think on a B2B perspective, let me think about my MarTech stack. I'd want to be across all my tech spend or all my marketing spend. I'd want it to be working. I'd normally work it off a customer acquisition cost or a lifetime value to customer acquisition cost efficiency ratio, and I'd be trying to push it to 3 to 1. So my lifetime value of my customer base is 3 times more than what I'm putting into my marketing spend as a whole, right? And I'm trying to track that throughout the entire year, right? So that's what I'm chasing.
Got you. So so I spoke about two of the pillars, which was time, and the second one was we're still in the numbers themselves. And I talked about the conversion rate, 25% to 61. The additional pillars as well. So ROAS measured by Facebook, 261, I think, 261 or 2.6 ROAS.
Perfect.
And it's a whole new conversation to talk, not new, but new for us. Talk about cookieless world and how it's impacting, and are we blind to that or not? But that's on the ROAS if you're deploying it in ads. And we have 2.5, I forgot the exact number, times and a revenue from email upside. So the revenue I had before for my campaigns, and when using Prodport, we're seeing 2.5 something times on revenue increase from email. And when you think about email for existing customers, and that's our previous role, marketers are looking to how much revenue they're driving from, that's a sales channel when you crossing a specific threshold of number of customers. And on the ROI, and that's the question I've asked you, we are seeing right now, and maybe perhaps it's too high when you think about our pricing, and we are startups, so there is always discovery. We're seeing 10 times ROI on what are we taking from our customers to what they're generating. So arguably maybe too high, and you want to be, I think, at 5-6 times, like it's a good equation to how much money you're asking to versus what you're actually creating. And when you're looking at the content, and I can stop here. Tell me if you want to continue. Because
no, it's okay. It's okay. I was just about to say. So, like, first of all, thank you for making me sweat. By the way, it reminded me a little bit about when I used to meet you in the corridor, and you'd be asking me how many demo requests we got in the past 2 hours. But but that was good. So no, I think just in terms of those like the return on investment that you're seeing from your current customer base of that 10, that like 10x return on investment is insane return on investment.
Yeah.
So, and also I want to drill into two of the things you'd mentioned before. So you'd mentioned that one person that's just sort of let Prodport just implemented and put it in a test group, right? And could see this has got a 30% uplift, whereas somebody that's really spent a lot of time and focus, they've gotten that 65% uplift. But you can even see, even with minimal effort, the person that's testing is managing to get still a 30% uplift, which is still like insanely good based on what they're currently doing, correct?
Yeah. Look, when you look at the e-commerce, right, and it's true to the equivalent of B2B to e-commerce, by the way, it's PLG, right?
Sure.
You're doing the same thing. You're driving traffic needs to convert, but it's a game of optimization, and you gain 0.1 or 1% or 2% when you're optimizing ads, and you're optimizing their emails and SMSs, and you're optimizing landing pages. So it's a game of tweaks until you never get to the best result, because you need to continuously optimize. But if you didn't do it on the landing page, on the product page, which is the last mile, that's the last mile, right? And it has a very, very big win and impact, because all your traffic needs to go from there to get a sale.
Yeah, and you can see it even across, even if I compare it to, even like, it doesn't have to be PLG or product-led growth, as you just mentioned. If I compare it to even just any, let's take for example Google Ads campaign. If you're pushing somebody to, let's say for example, I'm advertising for a marketing resource management product, which is what Marmline do, and I bid on the MRM keyword on Google, right? And I'm spending whatever it is per click. It's a relatively expensive keyword to bid on, because it's very specific. So I'm paying, every time that somebody clicks on that, I'm paying X amount of euros, right? I know that if people land on a landing page, which is not very closely aligned to what that keyword is, I know I'm wasting money, right? So in comparison, what like, if I want to compare it to what Prodport are doing, that landing page or the product page, right, when you're talking about an e-commerce, if people are landing on that product page and it's not closely aligned to what the text in the ad was, or what something along those lines was, then it's not going to convert, right? And by getting that extra level of personalization in there, you're encouraging even further that conversion rate to go up, correct?
Yeah, so some of our customers, you think about in the e-commerce space, again, and I can dive in, and maybe it's a different conversation to talk about like what's the limitation looks like on the product page itself. But the walk around used to be, I'll have a specific landing page that I'm building for this specific campaign, be it an email campaign, be it an ad campaign, because you can say whatever you want on the ads and the email. Like, only limitation is the time you have and money you invest. And to create this match, you're sending them to a different landing page. What happens is that it takes you time and money. How much time it takes you to build a landing page, a good landing page?
A good landing page can take, you can talk about a couple of days, you know, as well. You think about who's involved. You've got designers involved. You've probably got devs involved. You've got a marketer involved. You know,
and if an agency, it's even more so. It's anywhere between $1,500 to $300 or $3,000.
Yeah,
that's what you're looking at, to do something that will last for a couple of days or just as long as the campaign is there.
Yeah.
But what happens is then, not only that it's not specific enough to the different channels, but then you're introducing another click. You're sending your customer elsewhere just to bring him back to the product page. So you lose traffic. You lose traffic over there. But that's a problem with landing pages. Thanks for bringing it up.
Sure.
So how can you take your product page and make it quote unquote your landing page without any technical change, without any theme change, without head change, platform change, just with the existing page and existing components that you have?
Amazing. Okay, well, look, we've really dug deep into Prodport here, and there's one element that I want to get into a little bit while we still have a bit of time. Ohad, you've gone from a CEO of Marsis. How many people were at Marsis when you left?
I think 850, 800 something.
850. Then now to be your own, be your own boss and also manage everything for Prodport and start from scratch, right? I'd be interested in digging into a little bit, like, how has that change been for you? Has it been exhilarating? Has it been challenging? Are some of the challenges things where you're like, oh shit, how do I get over this? Like, tell me about that change in life for you.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'll try to make it short and sweet rather than long, you know, because there are many different aspects of that. The one is when you are working, and I was in the master for 12 years, and I started in the field, right? And I look at myself as a builder, and that's what gives me a lot of my satisfaction in my roles and in my career, in my life overall. And as the company is growing and your roles are changing, you sort of getting more and more away from the field itself, and you're getting people that are better than you in doing their specific jobs. They are experts in their own role, and so you work with them on synchronizing, on aligning, on making sure that everything is working in harmony together, and it's going towards the direction of the company itself. So there's really a lot of orchestration, right? And a lot of objectives, and a lot of seeing that everyone is on the right path, and making sure that among all of the teams, and trickle down to all the employees, everyone is on the same page, everybody is feeling that they're part of the system. And over here in Prodport, it's a lot of doing, right? So there is not so many people that we are 8 on the books, and then we have the periphery of additional people that are sort of on contracts, right? But there is, oh, I have a great idea, great. Let me then do that. So it's a document, it's an idea, it's writing the blog. If it's marketing, it's writing the blog. If it's sales strategy, it's going and writing the GTM strategy, coming up with a commission, calling to some of my buddies to see, you know, am I on the right track over here? So that's a major difference. Which I enjoy, but definitely it takes you more time. This is one layer, right? Another layer, and also very big for anyone that went from a sort of I don't know if a big company, everything is relative established company that, you know,
yeah,
been there and has customer base and partners and employees and shareholders.
Multi-million-dollar company, I would say. You know, that's probably the best way to put it. Multi-millions.
It's the consistency and the predictability that you have, right? So you're waking up in the morning and you know that, you know, we'll not crash and burn. That was part of the past, right? And there's a lot of tweaking. When over here, you're really fighting for survival, right? You're fighting for making it through out of the pack, right? You're fighting for having customers, and doesn't matter how many relationships you have, right? And who's on your board. and your team and your personal brand. The company brand and the solution itself, you start from scratch. So you need to prove yourself over and over and over and over again, right? Something that was sort of given in the previous company. There is a brand name, there is a product, there are customers, there are testimonials, right? You need to tweak it, but over here you need to create from the beginning. So here you have another layer. I'll maybe to one or two more. Speed, and you know, when you work in a more established company, in your definition multi-million, right? You sort of have this conflict between, I want to do things like really fast, let's just decide to move on, but those are not the realities, because there are many more people that needs to understand, that needs to buy in, that needs to change their priorities, right? And so there are many more troops that needs to align and to change in order for a change, right, on an idea to come to fruition. And it takes time, and we always, how do we do it really, really, really fast? And that's the problem of bigger companies versus smaller companies and disruptors. And over here, I can change, well, changing course every day, but I can introduce a new concept and change the way I'm talking about it and implement on the website and on content and work with the people in a matter of a week or two.
Sure.
So the speed is something that I enjoy, right? There's very small little bureaucracy, right? Because there is less people, there are less processes that you abide by, and so changes are faster.
Yeah.
The last aspect, and I'll pause for a second, is a lot of the things that you gain, you know, when you work in established companies, you can translate into existing ones. So my arsenal of my toolbox is full. Like I have many of those answers already created. So here is how to create a website, here how I should think about the content, here is how I should think about my marketing and my acquisition and content strategy and how to build specific things, right? Here is the case study, here is the company vid I need to create, here is a small version, here's a longer version, here is the ads and how they work, here's commission, here is how I'm hiring, here is how I'm returning, here are the cadences. Those things that looks like very obvious to you, right, are translatable and gives you a lot of the answers and a lot of the sort of comfort. And those things I do not need to discover because they are helping me. I need to discover how the product is working. I need to discover how do I translate what the product is doing to the customer. So the messaging, how do I acquire new customers? How do I create value? And so those are the new things. But I'll stop over here.
No, it's perfect. I mean, so the things that I've heard there, it's how knowing you personally, Ohad, and knowing that you like to move quickly and move like a million miles a minute, let's say, I think the position that you're in right now 100% suits your personality type. 100%. I haven't known you probably, I don't know, almost 10 years now at this point. I just know how you operate and how your mind works. And it's like, okay, let's make the decision. Let's move quickly. Let's go. Which I would imagine at certain times during the immersive time, although fantastic times, could have been frustrating because you may have not been able to move as quick as you wanted, right? Is that the case?
It's always an adaptation, you know. In some of the one-on-one with the leadership team, you know, we had, I think, really good relationship, and sometimes, you know, we having conversation and there is decision and you close the door and then that's it, we're moving forward. But hey, we need a bit more time to process, we need the time to digest, we need time to talk about, we need time to analyze it, and that the way it's not. So there was also adaptation from my point of view. Like there are other people, right, that they have different way to proceed speed. They need a bit more comfort of time on analysis, of thinking about it, thinking. So you sort of find the middle way between your DNA and the way you're thinking and operating to other people. And I think that's a sweet spot. If everyone is compromising and you're finding something, okay, that's how it is. For sure.
Ohad, look, we could keep on talking like this for hours, mate. I really do appreciate the time, and I just know that we need to finish up now. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to me today. It's been really great to catch up. And I'd definitely like to maybe do a part 2 as well, to dig in a little bit deeper around some of those leadership things as well that you just mentioned. But I I really wish you all the best with Prodport. I'm super excited to see you take it to the next level already. You've got some good news with some funding round recently as well. Congratulations, that's amazing. And I'll make sure that all of the details are shared with the audience on this, and I'll get people to find you as well on LinkedIn.
Pleasure being here. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's my honor to be on this podcast and being on my podcast, and definitely, seeing you and being again with you and talking with you, like, doesn't give me much more pleasure than what I have right now. Thank you.
Thanks, Ohad. Guys, this has been another episode of This Is Your Captain Speaking. Stay tuned next week for more exciting content. Cheers. Thanks, Ohad.
Bye. Cheers.